Taehyun checked the oxygen levels in the space station one more time. As the only military doctor on the international outpost, he took his job very seriously. The station orbited Earth quietly, a small home for 20 humans from different countries. Today was like any other day. Until it wasn't. Dr. Kim called a voice over the intercom. It was Captain Lee, the station commander. Report to the command center immediately. Taehyun grabbed his medical kit, always ready for an emergency. He pushed himself through the low-gravity corridor, his heart beating a little faster. The captain never called him unless something was wrong. When he arrived, the command center buzzed with unusual activity. Through the main window, Taehyun saw something that made him stop and stare. A ship unlike any human vessel hovered near the station. Its shape reminded him of a giant silver leaf, with smooth curves and strange blue lights pulsing along its hull. They call themselves the Galactic Coalition, Captain Lee said, his voice tight. And they're asking to dock. They have injured crew members. Taehyun looked at the screen showing the communication feed. The being on the other end wasn't human. It had pale blue skin, large eyes with no visible pupils, and a mouth that seemed too small for its wide face. We encountered hostile forces, the alien was saying in surprisingly good English. Our medical officer can't handle all the wounded. We detected your station and scanned your species. You appear advanced enough for first contact. We request emergency docking and medical assistance. Captain Lee turned to Taehyun. What do you think, Doctor? Can you help them? Taehyun felt the weight of human history on his shoulders. The first official contact with aliens, and it would be through medicine. His field. I'll try, he said simply. 20 minutes later, after hurried preparations and a quick decontamination procedure, Taehyun stood at the airlock as the alien ship connected to their station. His hands were steady, but his mind raced with questions. Would alien biology be completely different? Would his training be useless? The airlock hissed open. A tall figure stepped through, supported by two others. The injured one leaked a strange yellow fluid from a wound in its side. I am Alara, Chief Medical Officer, said one of the supporting aliens. Unlike the blue-skinned communicator, Alara had pale green skin with faint patterns that shifted like clouds. We have 8 seriously injured crew members. Our medical bay is overwhelmed. Taehyun bowed slightly. I'm Dr. Kim Taehyun, human military physician. I'll help however I can. Alara's large eyes studied him. You are from a high-gravity world. A Deathworlder. The alien's voice held a note of, was it fear? I don't know what that means, Taehyun said honestly. But I'm a doctor. Let me help. After a moment's hesitation, Alara nodded. Follow me. The inside of the alien ship was warmer than the space station, with higher humidity. The corridors curved naturally, unlike the straight lines of human design. Taehyun followed Alara to their medical bay, trying not to stare at the different alien species they passed. The medical bay was chaos. 6 different beds held 6 different species of aliens, all with injuries. Some had burns, others had wounds similar to cuts or punctures. Medical staff moved quickly between them using tools Taehyun didn't recognize. What happened? He asked. Space pirates, Alara explained, moving to check on a patient. A faction that opposes the coalition. They attacked without warning. Our shields held, but the impact damaged internal systems. Taehyun nodded. Violence, it seemed, was universal. How can I help when I know nothing about your biology? He asked. Observe first, Alara said. Your species seems adaptable. Learn quickly. For the next hour, Taehyun watched the alien medical team work. He began to recognize patterns. Despite different colors and consistencies, bodily fluids needed to stay inside bodies. Wounds needed cleaning and closing. Pain needed management. The basics of medicine, it seemed, applied across species. When Alara allowed him to help with simple tasks, Taehyun worked carefully. He handed over instruments, applied pressure to wounds as directed, and monitored patients using the translation feature Alara activated on a small device for him. Then the emergency alarm sounded. "Critical fluid loss in bed 3, called one of the medical staff, a small purple being with 4 arms. Taehyun turned to see a patient convulsing. The alien had reptilian features and dark blue scales. A wound on its leg was pumping out bright orange fluid at an alarming rate. "Pressure seal failing," said the purple medic. "Clotting factors not responding." Ilara rushed over, but Taehyun could see the panic in her movements. The patient was bleeding out, and their treatments weren't working fast enough. Without thinking, Taehyun grabbed a stack of absorbent material and pressed it against the wound. "We need to slow the blood loss while you prepare your treatment," he said. "Move aside," Ilara ordered, but there was uncertainty in her voice. "Our physiology doesn't respond well to pressure on major fluid vessels." "Mine does," Taehyun insisted. "Just let me help slow the bleeding while you prepare whatever treatment you need." Reluctantly, Ilara nodded. As Taehyun pressed down on the wound, he reached for a better angle. His hand slipped against a sharp edge of a nearby instrument. Pain flashed across his palm as the metal cut into his skin. "I'm sorry," he said, pulling his bleeding hand back quickly. "I didn't mean to." But no one was listening. Every alien in the medical bay had stopped moving. All eyes were fixed on Taehyun's hand, where bright red human blood was already beginning to clot along the edges of the cut. "Impossible," Ilara whispered, moving closer to examine his hand. "Your fluid is self-sealing, in real time." Taehyun looked down at his cut, confused by their reaction. "Yes, blood clotting. All humans have this. It's basic human biology." "Basic?" another medic repeated in shock. "That process takes our species hours or days with medical help." Ilara stared at him with new understanding and what looked like awe. "Your kind evolved on a true death world. Show me how you would stop that bleeding," she said, pointing to the patient. With his uninjured hand, Taehyun demonstrated proper pressure technique. "Like this, until your treatments are ready. My blood clots fast, because on Earth, if you bleed too long, predators find you, or you simply die." The medical bay remained eerily silent as the aliens watched him work. Taehyun felt their eyes on him, studying him like he was the patient now. He focused on helping the injured alien, but couldn't ignore how the atmosphere had changed. Something important had just happened. The first notable difference between humans and aliens wasn't language, culture, or technology. It was how quickly their blood stopped flowing when they were hurt. It was their first day knowing aliens existed, and already humans had surprised them. Taehyun wondered what other simple things about being human might amaze these advanced space travelers. "Tell me more about this clotting," Ilara said, moving to help him treat the patient. "And tell me what other surprises your Deathworld biology might have for us." Taehyun smiled slightly. It seemed he had much to teach, even as he had much to learn. Word of the human doctor's blood spread through the alien ship faster than the blood itself had clotted. Within hours, Taehyun found himself the center of attention. Alien crew members found excuses to walk past the medical bay just to catch a glimpse of the rapid healing Deathworlder. Ilara had moved Taehyun to a small lab connected to the medical bay. Here she studied samples of his blood under strange devices that projected holographic images of the cells. "I still don't understand why this is so amazing to you," Taehyun said as he watched her work. "All humans can do this." Ilara's skin patterns shifted to a deep blue. Taehyun was learning this indicated intense focus or excitement. In the Coalition's recorded history of over 3,000 species, none have evolved such an efficient emergency response system, she explained. Most intelligent species evolved on safer worlds with fewer predators and environmental threats. She pointed to the holographic display showing his blood cells and platelets. "Your blood contains elements that actively seek injury sites and form barriers. Our medical science has tried to create artificial versions of this for centuries, yet your species evolved it naturally." Taehyun was about to respond when the lab door opened. A tall, broad-shouldered alien with metallic gray skin entered. Unlike the medical staff's simple uniforms, this alien wore an elaborate outfit with symbols that Taehyun guessed indicated high rank. "Commander Varys," Ilara said, standing straighter. Is this the human? The commander asked, studying Taehyun with 4 dark eyes set in a diamond pattern. Yes, sir. This is Dr. Kim Taehyun from Earth. Varys circled Taehyun slowly. I've reviewed your report, medical officer. Accelerated healing. Enhanced clotting mechanisms. Fascinating. His tone suggested he found it more concerning than fascinating. Just normal human biology, Taehyun said simply. There is nothing normal about evolving on a Deathworld human, Varys replied. Your kind developed these traits because they were necessary for survival. What other adaptations might you possess? Before Taehyun could answer, the lab door opened again. A human woman in an Earth Science Division uniform stood there looking slightly out of breath. Sorry I'm late, she said. The shuttle docking took longer than expected. Taehyun recognized her immediately. Dr. Park Ji-young, you weren't supposed to arrive at the station for another week. Ji-young smiled briefly. Captain Lee called me in early. Said something about aliens being amazed by human blood. She looked around the lab with obvious excitement. I couldn't get here fast enough. Commander Varys looked between the 2 humans. Who is this? Ilara checked a small device. According to the station records, this is Dr. Park Ji-young, a xenobiologist, scheduled to join their research team. A fortunate coincidence, Varys said, though his tone suggested he found nothing fortunate about it. Perhaps you can explain more about your species' unusual traits. Ji-young stepped forward confidently. I'd be happy to help bridge our understanding. But first I'd love to learn more about your physiology as well. True scientific exchange goes both ways. Varys stared at her for a long moment, then nodded curtly. Medical Officer Ilara will oversee this exchange. I want daily reports. With that, he turned and left the lab. He seems worried. Taehyun observed once the commander was gone. Ilara's skin patterns shifted to a muted yellow. Your blood clotting was just the beginning. Commander Varys has military concerns. If humans heal quickly from injuries, what other survival advantages might you have? And how might they be used against the coalition? Ji-young added, understanding immediately. Exactly, Ilara said. Now shall we begin our comparative studies? My assistant Nyx will help us. A small alien with 4 arms and large, bulbous eyes moved forward from the corner of the room. Taehyun hadn't even noticed him there. Nyx had skin that seemed to shift colors to match his surroundings. Camouflage, Ji-young whispered to Taehyun, her eyes wide with excitement. His species has adaptive camouflage. And your species has blood that forms barriers to prevent fluid loss, Nyx replied in a high, musical voice. We all have our evolutionary gifts. For the next several hours, the 2 humans answered questions and submitted to basic, non-invasive tests. They provided samples of hair, skin cells, and saliva. Taehyun demonstrated his pulse rate and explained the human cardiovascular system. Ji-young, meanwhile, showed her worth as a xenobiologist. She asked thoughtful questions about each alien, species represented on the ship, and took careful notes on their answers. Earth has much higher gravity than most coalition homeworlds, Ilara explained as she compared bone density scans. Your skeletal structure is denser, your muscles more powerful by comparison. And your world has an unusually high oxygen content, added Nyx, studying readings from a breathing test. Your respiratory efficiency is remarkable. Plus the number of pathogens on your world, Ilara continued, now examining immune cell responses. Most coalition worlds have only a fraction of the bacterial and viral diversity of Earth. Your immune systems are constantly at war. Taehyun and Ji-young exchanged glances. What seemed perfectly normal to them was apparently extraordinary to these advanced aliens. How many worlds are in your coalition? Ji-young asked. Over 300 settled worlds with representatives from around 3,000 species, Nyx answered proudly. And none evolved with blood clotting like ours? Taehyun asked, still finding it hard to believe. Some have limited versions, Ilara clarified. But nothing as rapid or effective. Most coalition medicine focuses on artificial clotting agents because natural processes are too slow for emergency treatment. A gentle chime sounded, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the lab. It showed their current location and a nearby star system. "We're changing course," Alara explained. "Commander Varys has ordered us to proceed to the Central Medical Research Station. Our findings about human physiology need to be shared with Coalition scientists." "We're going deeper into space?" Taehyun asked, suddenly concerned. "But we're supposed to return to our station." "Don't worry," Alara assured him. "We've already contacted your Captain Lee. Arrangements are being made. The research station has requested both of you attend a full medical symposium." Ji-young could barely contain her excitement. "A chance to meet alien scientists and visit a Coalition medical center? This is beyond anything I could have hoped for." Taehyun nodded slowly, but he couldn't help noticing that Nyx had turned a pale shade of green, which he had learned indicated concern or worry. "What's wrong?" he asked the small alien. Nyx glanced at Alara, who gave a slight nod. "Some factions within the Coalition may view humans as potentially dangerous," Nyx explained, carefully. "Your adaptations evolved for survival on a high-threat world. Commander Varys belongs to a security-minded species. He sees threats where others see opportunities. We're doctors, not soldiers," Taehyun said firmly. "Yes," Alara agreed, "but even doctors from a death world might be seen as valuable military assets by some. Your blood clotting is just the beginning. What other secrets does human biology hold?" Ji-young placed a hand on Taehyun's shoulder. "We have a unique opportunity here to represent humanity in a way that shows we're partners, not threats." Taehyun looked at the alien medical equipment, the strange beings who found his normal body so fascinating, and the stars visible through a small viewpoint. First contact had come through medicine, through healing. Perhaps that was the best way, to show what humans truly valued. "Then let's show them what human doctors can do," he said. Little did he know how soon that chance would come. 3 days passed aboard the Coalition ship. Taehyun and Ji-young spent most of their time in the medical lab, learning about alien biology while teaching the aliens about humans. They were becoming more comfortable with the strange food, the different gravity, and the varied alien species who made up the crew. Taehyun was in the middle of explaining human bone healing to Alara when a loud alarm sounded throughout the ship. The peaceful hum of the engines changed to a higher pitch. "What's happening?" he asked as Alara's skin patterns shifted to a sharp red, a color he had never seen on her before. "Emergency alert," she said, moving quickly to a communication panel. "All medical staff report status." Commander Varys's voice came through the ship's communication system. "Attention all crew. We have received a distress call from mining colony Zeta 7. There has been a major accident. Many workers are injured. We are the closest ship with medical capabilities." Alara turned to Taehyun and Ji-young. "We're changing course. The mining colony is only 2 hours away." "What kind of accident?" Ji-young asked. "Unknown yet," Alara replied, "but mining colonies can be dangerous. The asteroid fields contain unstable elements." Nyx entered the lab carrying several containers. "I've started preparing emergency medical supplies. The colony's medical facilities are basic at best." Taehyun stepped forward. "How can we help?" Alara seemed to hesitate. "You are not Coalition medical staff." "We're doctors," Taehyun said firmly. "If people are hurt, we want to help." After a moment, Alara nodded. "Very well. Prepare yourselves. Mining accidents can be difficult." 2 hours later, the ship docked at mining colony Zeta 7. Through the viewing ports, Taehyun could see that the colony was built into a large asteroid. Part of the structure had a huge, jagged hole in it, with debris floating in space around it. Commander Varys met the medical team at the airlock. "The situation is worse than reported. An explosion in the main mining shaft. Over 40 workers injured, many critically. The colony's medical staff is overwhelmed." "What species are the miners?" Ji-young asked practically. "Mostly Thrak," Alara answered. "A species with tough outer shells and 4 limbs. Some Valerian supervisors too. They have gray skin and breathe nitrogen mixtures." The airlock opened, and they stepped into chaos. The colony's main hall had been turned into an emergency treatment center. Injured miners lay everywhere. Some were moving and making distress sounds. Others lay very still. The air smelled of chemicals and something burning. A small medical team of just 3 aliens rushed between patients, clearly overwhelmed. Set up treatment stations, Ilara ordered her team. Nix, handle respiratory cases. I'll take traumatic injuries. Taehyun and Ji-young followed Ilara to a large Thrak miner with a cracked shell and what appeared to be severe bleeding. Their blood doesn't clot naturally, Ilara explained quickly as she worked. Their evolution relied on their hard shell for protection. Internal bleeding is almost always fatal without medical intervention. Taehyun watched as Ilara applied a synthetic spray to the wound. The bleeding slowed, but didn't stop. It's not working fast enough, Ilara said with frustration. The synthetic clotting agent needs time we don't have. More injured miners were being brought in. The small treatment room was filling up quickly. Taehyun could see other aliens with similar bleeding problems. How many will die from blood loss, he asked quietly. Without better medical facilities? Most of the seriously injured, Nick said from nearby, his color a sad blue. Taehyun looked at Ji-young. They both had the same thought. What about human blood factors? Taehyun suggested. The proteins that help our blood clot quickly? Ilara looked up sharply. Introducing human biological material into alien physiology? The risk of rejection or adverse reaction would be extreme. But they're dying anyway, Ji-young pointed out. If their bodies can't stop bleeding quickly enough, it's too dangerous, Ilara insisted. We have no research, no trials, no way to know. She was interrupted as one of the colony's medical staff rushed over. 3 more miners just died. We can't keep up with the bleeding. Commander Varys appeared beside them, his 4 eyes taking in the scene grimly. Medical officer, what are our options? Ilara's skin showed patches of distressed yellow. Standard treatments are working too slowly. We're losing patients faster. Then we can stabilize them. The humans have made a suggestion, Nix offered. All eyes turned to Taehyun and Ji-young. Taehyun explained their idea clearly. Human blood contains special proteins that make it clot very quickly. If we could synthesize these proteins and modify them to work with the miner's blood, it might stop the bleeding fast enough to save lives. Varys looked skeptical. Is this possible? Theoretically, Ilara admitted, but without proper testing, the risks are significant. Their bodies might reject the human compounds violently. Ji-young stepped forward. What if we tested it on one patient first, someone who will die without intervention? A heavy silence fell over the group. Then a weak voice spoke from the injured miner on the table. I volunteer, said the Thrak in a raspy voice. Better to try than die waiting. Commander Varys looked at the dying miner, then at the humans, and finally at Ilara. The decision is yours, medical officer. Ilara's skin swirled with conflicting colors. Finally, she nodded. Prepare the molecular synthesizer. We'll need blood samples from both humans to isolate the clotting factors. The next hour was a blur of activity. Ji-young worked with Nix at the ship's advanced molecular synthesizer. Taehyun provided specific details about human blood clotting mechanisms. Ilara carefully studied the Thrak's blood composition to predict possible interactions. The key is to modify the human factors enough that they won't trigger an immune response, but not so much that they lose their clotting properties, Ji-young explained as she worked. Ready for first trial, Nix announced finally. The synthesizer had produced a small vial of clear liquid. They returned to the dying Thrak miner. His breathing was shallow now, and the bleeding had barely slowed despite conventional treatments. This is highly experimental, Ilara warned him. We cannot guarantee success. No choice, the miner gasped. With careful precision, Ilara injected the modified human clotting factors directly into the wound. Everyone watched intently. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. Then, gradually, the bleeding began to slow. Within 2 minutes, it had nearly stopped completely. It's working, Nix exclaimed, his color shifting to bright green. But their celebration was short-lived. The miner's body temperature began to rise rapidly. He's developing a fever, Ilara said urgently. Immune response, his body is fighting the foreign compounds. Can we counteract it? Taehyun asked. I think so, Ilara said, already preparing another injection. An immunosuppressant carefully balanced. Not enough to compromise his natural defenses, just enough to accept the clotting factors. The treatment continued, with Ji-young making real-time adjustments to the synthetic factors while Ilara managed the immune response. It was delicate work, with the miner's life hanging in the balance. Finally, after what seemed like hours, the miner stabilized. His temperature returned to normal. The bleeding stopped completely. It worked, Taehyun said quietly. Ilara looked at the humans with new respect. Yes, it did. But can we refine it enough to help the others? Ji-young was already heading back to the synthesizer. We'll need to create different versions for each species. Their blood chemistry is different. Then we better work fast, Taehyun said, looking around at the many injured miners still waiting for help. We have a lot of lives to save, Commander. Varys watched silently from the doorway, his expression unreadable. The humans had proven useful, perhaps too useful. His concerns about Deathworlder adaptations had just been confirmed in the most dramatic way possible. Over the next 12 hours, the medical team worked without rest. Taehyun lost count of how many injured miners they had treated. With each patient, they refined the treatment. Ji-young adjusted the synthetic human clotting factors to better match each alien species. Ilara developed better ways to control the immune response. Another success, Nyx announced as they stabilized a Valyrian supervisor. His color had been bright green for hours now, the sign of excitement or joy in his species. Taehyun wiped sweat from his forehead. Even with the ship's environmental controls, the constant work had left him exhausted. How many more patients? Just 5, Ilara said. Her skin patterns showed swirls of purple and blue, tired but satisfied. The critical cases are all stable. Now, Ji-young entered the treatment room with fresh vials of the modified clotting factors. She had dark circles under her eyes but smiled when she saw the recovering patients. The molecular synthesizer is working at full capacity. We should have enough for everyone now. As they moved to treat the remaining patients, Taehyun noticed something strange. The alien medical staff now looked at the humans differently. Gone was the initial fear or scientific curiosity. Now they watched with something that looked like respect, maybe even awe. Your Deathworld adaptation saved 43 lives today, Ilara said quietly as they worked side by side. What your bodies do naturally has changed everything we thought we knew about emergency medicine. We just got lucky, Taehyun said modestly. Humans evolved on a dangerous planet. We needed these adaptations to survive. Not luck, Ilara corrected. Evolution. Your species faced challenges that made you stronger. The Coalition has focused on technology to solve problems. Your kind solved some problems through biology. By the time they finished treating the last patient, news of the human treatment had spread throughout the mining colony. Miners who could walk came to see the miracle doctors from Earth. Some reached out to touch Taehyun and Ji-young with their alien hands, as if they might absorb some healing power. I've never seen anything like this, Nyx commented. Usually different species keep their distance from each other, especially Deathworlders. Pain and healing cross all species barriers, Ji-young said. We all understand suffering. Commander Varys entered the treatment room. For once, his serious face showed something close to approval. Medical Officer Ilara, prepare a complete report on the human treatment protocols. The Coalition Medical Council will want every detail. Yes, Commander, Ilara said. Varys turned to the humans. Your assistance has been valuable. The Coalition owes you a debt. We're just glad we could help, Taehyun said. As Varys left, Ji-young whispered to Taehyun, he still doesn't fully trust us. Can you blame him? Taehyun replied. We're strange beings from a planet so dangerous that our blood fights to stay inside our bodies. They shared a tired laugh. Later, as they rested in quarters provided by the mining colony, Ilara brought them food and drinks adapted to human biology. I've been documenting everything, she said, sitting across from them. The human clotting factors, how we modified them, the treatment protocols. This could change emergency medicine throughout Coalition space. I still don't understand why your species never evolved similar adaptations, Ji-young said. Alara's skin showed thoughtful patterns of blue and green. Most intelligent species in the Coalition evolved on worlds with fewer threats. Our bodies didn't need to develop such aggressive defense mechanisms. Our development focused on other areas, longer lifespans, enhanced senses, or specialized abilities. Like Nyx's camouflage, Taehyun noted. Exactly, Alara agreed. But few species faced the constant physical dangers that shaped human evolution. Your world created a species that heals quickly because it needed to. Their conversation was interrupted when a colony security officer entered the room. Doctors, we need you in the command center. It's urgent. They followed the officer through the winding tunnels of the asteroid colony. In the command center, Commander Varus stood with a large Thrak miner whose shell had been patched with medical sealant. This is Credo, Varus said. He has information about the explosion. The miner's 4 eyes blinked nervously. It wasn't an accident, he said in a deep rumbling voice. I saw someone plant a device in the main shaft just before the explosion. Sabotage? Ilara asked, her skin turning a shocked white. Yes, Credo confirmed. I recognized him. He belongs to the anti-coalition freedom movement. Varus's 4 eyes narrowed. The ACFM has been causing trouble for years. They oppose coalition expansion and influence. But why attack a mining colony? Ji-young asked. These are just workers. This particular asteroid contains rare elements used in faster-than-light drive systems, Varus explained. By disrupting the mine, they disrupt coalition ship production. Taehyun frowned. So they were willing to kill innocent miners to make a political point? The ACFM believes the coalition is growing too powerful, Credo said. They want independent worlds to remain independent. And now? Alara asked. Credo's large eyes turned toward the humans. Now they know about the Earth humans and their medical breakthrough. My friends in security say ACFM communications have spiked in the last few hours. They're very interested in these Deathworlders. A heavy silence fell over the room. Taehyun felt a chill run down his spine. Are we in danger? Ji-young asked finally. Commander Varus stood straighter. You are under coalition protection. We will increase security measures immediately. He turned to leave, then paused. But the ACFM now sees Earth as a factor in their struggle against the coalition. That puts your world at risk. After Varus left, Ilara's skin showed patterns of deep concern. I'm sorry. We never meant to drag your species into coalition politics. We came to help, Taehyun said firmly. We don't regret it. Later that night, as Taehyun tried to sleep in the strange alien bed, he heard a soft knock at his door. He opened it to find a nervous-looking Nyx. May I come in? The small alien asked, his skin matching the gray of the corridor almost perfectly. Once, inside, Nyx spoke quietly. There's something you should know. When Commander Varus sent our report to Coalition Command, he included a special note about human biology. What kind of note? Taehyun asked. He classified humans as a species of strategic interest. This designation is usually reserved for species with military potential. Nyx's color shifted to a worried blue. Some in the Coalition may see your healing abilities as weapons rather than medical miracles. We're doctors, not soldiers, Taehyun protested. I know, Nyx said. But faster healing means soldiers who can return to battle more quickly. Blood that clots instantly means fighters who survive wounds that would kill others. His color darkened. Further, the Coalition has been peaceful for centuries, but there are always those who prepare for war. After Nyx left, Taehyun couldn't sleep. He went to find Ji-young and found her already awake, studying alien medical texts on a data pad. Something's changed, he told her, sharing what Nyx had revealed. Ji-young set down the data pad. We came here to heal, not to give anyone military advantages. I know, Taehyun said. but we can't control how others see us. They looked out the small viewport at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, still new to the galactic community, still unaware of how its people's simple biology could change everything. What started with alien medics freezing in shock might end with much bigger consequences, Ji-young said softly. Taehyun nodded. We need to make sure our first contribution to galactic society is healing, not harm. Little did they know how soon their resolve would be tested. 3 weeks after the mining colony incident, Taehyun and Ji-young stood in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Coalition Medical Council. The room was enormous, with curved walls that rose to a clear dome showing the stars above. Around them sat representatives from dozens of alien species. Some looked almost human. Others were so different that Taehyun couldn't tell which part was their face. I'm nervous, Taehyun whispered to Ji-young. Me too, she admitted, but we've practiced our presentation many times. Ilara stood nearby, her skin showing excited patterns of bright blue and green. You'll do fine. Just tell them what you told me about human biology. At the center of the hall, a tall alien with flowing robes called for attention. The Medical Council will now hear the report on human physiology and its medical applications. We welcome our first human representatives, Drs. Kim Taehyun and Park Ji-young from Earth. Taehyun and Ji-young walked to the speaking platform. A translator device floated near them to carry their words to all present aliens. Thank you for inviting us, Taehyun began. We are honored to represent Earth at this council. Ji-young activated a holographic display showing human blood cells. We'd like to share information about human biology, particularly our blood clotting and healing mechanisms. For the next hour, they explained human physiology in simple terms. They showed how Earth's dangerous environment had shaped human evolution. They described the mining colony emergency and how human clotting factors had saved many lives. What took us most by surprise, Taehyun said, was learning that these abilities we take for granted are rare in the galaxy. We believe this is just the beginning, Ji-young continued. Human biology has other adaptations that might benefit galactic medicine. Our immune systems fight a wide range of pathogens. Our bones heal from breaks. Our skin repairs itself after injury. When they finished, the hall was silent. Then one alien stood, a tall being with crystalline features that sparkled in the light. These adaptations evolved because humans faced constant danger, the alien said. Doesn't this make them inherently dangerous themselves? A species shaped by violence? Before Taehyun could answer, another council member rose. This one had multiple tentacles and spoke in a bubbling voice. I disagree. The humans used their adaptations to save lives at the mining colony. Their first instinct was to heal, not harm. Debate spread through the chamber. Some council members expressed fear of humans and their Deathworld traits. Others saw potential, benefits from closer cooperation. Commander Vera stepped forward. The security implications cannot be ignored. Humans heal quickly from injuries that would kill other species. What if they decided to use this advantage against the coalition? Ilara moved to stand beside the humans. I have worked closely with these humans. Yes, they come from a world that shaped them to be strong and resilient, but they chose to become healers, not warriors. The debate continued for hours. Taehyun and Ji-young answered countless questions about human biology. Finally, the head of the council called for order. We must decide on the next steps regarding human integration into the coalition medical community, the council head announced. Taehyun stepped forward. If I may make a suggestion? The council head nodded. We propose a medical exchange program between Earth and the coalition, Taehyun said. Human doctors would share our medical knowledge and biological adaptations. Coalition doctors would share your advanced technology and diverse species expertise. Ji-young added, we could establish a joint research center to study applications of human biology for galactic medicine. The International Space Station where Dr. Kim was first stationed would be an ideal location. Murmurs spread through the chamber as council members discussed the idea. Some seemed excited, others cautious. Small, ancient-looking alien with pale skin covered in strange markings slowly stood. The chamber immediately fell silent. "I am Elder Zoph," the alien said in a surprisingly strong voice. "I have served on this council for 300 cycles. In that time, I have seen many new species join our community. Each brings unique gifts." "Elder," Zoph pointed a long finger at the humans. "These Deathworlders do not hide what they are. They acknowledge their biology was shaped by a dangerous world, yet they choose to use these traits for healing. Is this not the essence of civilization, to rise above our origins?" The council chamber remained silent as Elder Zoph continued. "I support the human proposal. Let us learn from each other. Their blood clots quickly. Perhaps our wisdom can grow just as fast." After more discussion, the council voted. By a narrow margin, they approved a limited exchange program. The first joint human-alien medical research center would be established at the International Space Station. Later, at a small celebration in their quarters, Ilara's skin showed the brightest patterns Taehyun had ever seen on her. "This is historic," she said. "The council rarely approves new programs so quickly." "It's just a first step," Ji-young cautioned. "Many still fear us." "Fear comes from not understanding," Nick said, his color a happy green. "As we work together, fear will fade." Commander Varys entered the room. His serious face showed no emotion, but his posture seemed less rigid than before. "The council has assigned me to oversee security for the new research center," he announced. "I will be traveling to Earth with you." "You still don't trust us?" Taehyun observed. "Trust must be earned," Varys replied. "But I acknowledge that your intentions appear peaceful." He hesitated, then added, "And I am curious about this death world that produced such resilient beings." After Varys left, Ilara surprised the humans by placing her hands on their shoulders. A gesture she had learned was friendly to humans. "I have requested assignment as the Coalition's first medical ambassador to Earth," she said, her skin showing warm orange patterns of friendship. "There is much for us to learn from each other." That night, as Taehyun packed his belongings for the return journey to Earth, he received an urgent message from Nyx. The small alien's image appeared as a hologram, his color a worried dark blue. "We've intercepted communications from the ACFM," Nyx said quietly. "They're planning something against the new research center. They see cooperation between humans and the Coalition as a threat to their cause." "Have you told Commander Varys?" Taehyun asked. "Yes, but I wanted to warn you directly. The ACFM now views humans as valuable potential allies, or dangerous enemies." After the message ended, Taehyun went to find Ji-young. When he told her the news, she sighed deeply. "We just wanted to help people," she said. "Now we're caught in the middle of a conflict we barely understand." "That's the thing about being doctors," Taehyun replied. "We go where we're needed even when it's dangerous." He looked out the viewport at the distant stars. Somewhere among them was Earth, still new to the galactic community, still unaware of the changes coming. "What started with alien medics freezing in shock at our blood has led to so much more," he said. Ji-young smiled. "And this is just the beginning. There's a whole galaxy of patients waiting for human doctors." As their ship prepared for the journey back to Earth, Taehyun thought about how one small cut on his hand had changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Sometimes the smallest things, like blood that clotted quickly, could have the biggest impact. He was ready for whatever challenges came next. After all, humans were good at adapting. It was in their blood.